Hello and welcome back, ladies and gents, to Kaostv's live coverage of the EUS Challenger Series number 5, day 2 between Eternity and Benched Gaming. First game did go to Eternity. It was somewhat of a back and forth brawl between the two teams, Spuddington. I'm at this joined by Spuddington, and we are into the picks and bans. And I'm honestly looking forward to this best of 3, Spud. That first game was lightning. There's so much happening throughout.
Yeah, it was a really back and forth game, as you mentioned. I mean, just Bench looked like they were out for such a long period at the start of that game, and I'm hoping you won't be subjected to dogs at the moment, but you might be, so I'll let you speak for a little while.
Yeah, we could hear a couple of dogs there, just barking in the background, but it's no problem. Fairly similar bans. Jace, Evelyn, and Jarvan were all banned in game number 1, but obviously Eternity, fearing the Karthus, fearing the Bimbo on Karthus, are going to respect him and ban that one out. Thresh also banned, so all the same bans apart from the Karthus, and now we are on to the 6th ban and the 3rd and final from Benched Gaming. Is there going to be any character that they're scared of? Maybe Twisted Fate going to get banned out here. Did have a fairly good game. Nautilus also was very strong. I doubt they'd go as far to ban Vayne, because typically Vayne is fairly easy to counter in the sense a lot of CC and she's pretty much done, but they've actually banned out the Singed and instantly Zac is going to be picked up. So a bit of a role reversal. Last time around it was Gornagle on the Zac, and this time around looks like it could be Agent.
Interesting. Yeah, Zac is obviously still a very solid character, and we did come out fairly strong considering his not brilliant start in that last game. Maybe we're going to be looking to see kind of like how it's done, as it were, but Zac is, yeah, very solid. I'm just a little bit surprised that they've let Twisted Fate go through, because that seems like a very strong pick as well. Maybe they're aware of something that I'm not, though. Benched obviously may not play Twisted Fate. Bimbo 8 is a very solid all-around mid from what I've seen, though. Plays a very aggressive style. Maybe he just prefers those kind of powerhouse carries like Karthus, in fact, as compared to someone like Twisted Fate, who's much more focused around that roaming style. But we are actually seeing the Vayne, maybe? I'm casting from the stream, I should mention this. So I have a significant delay, whereas Metas is on time. That's what's going on.
Yes, Vayne has been locked in alongside Nautilus, so we are going to have this strange switch around. But I was about to say that the two junglers are going to switch roles. Not going to be the case, because Spontex has just picked up Sejuani, so I'd expect to see Sejuani in the jungle for Agent and Gornagle on the Nautilus. Of course, last time it was the other way round. Vayne was played last time from the AD carry of Vanda. So they're taking a lot of each other's picks here. It looks like we're going to have Nardius on Vayne this time around. And the Teemo has been picked. And I'm going to ask you again, Bass, if you can just confirm for us if that is a legit Teemo pick or if it is going to be a placeholder. Just give us a shout on Aria when you find out. Okay, so we may have a Zyra pickup as well. And Yolozilla is still yet to decide. So if the Zyra goes in, I know that you're an avid, keen Zyra player, Swaddington. You can play her in support and mid. Where would you expect to see the Zyra this time around?
Well, to be honest, I know that Bimbo 8 is an even keener Zyra player, but he plays her mid, and he is just an incredibly strong Zyra player. If that is locked in, I will expect mid Zyra on Bimbo 8, because he is terrifyingly damaging on that. He is one of those guys who, you know that little corner by the Wraith camp where you're like where you can hide behind that little corner. He's the guy that throws all his abilities over the wall and you're dead. That is how scary his Zyra is. He is just absolutely a beast on that. Farms incredibly well and is just very scary as well. He has incredible utility in addition to all of that. The main weakness in Zyra is the lack of escapes, but Bimbo 8 takes the novel approach of solving that problem by not buying any boots at all and buying so much damage that he can just 100 to 0 anyone who goes after him, which is scary to see. But it wouldn't be surprised to say. I wouldn't be surprised to see, if Bimbo 8 went Rabadon's Void Staff, no boots. That is the kind of style of out-and-out damage that he tends to go for on that pick. But what are we seeing now? Because I'm seeing some possible placeholder picks.
Yeah, Teemo is Sona. I have been informed from Bass. Thank you very much. And speaking of 100 to 0, Veigar has joined the roster. Again, I don't know if he's a placeholder pick. Veigar is a very scary mid laner, though, especially if he's against someone like Zyra. Once the event horizon goes down, the amount of burst damage to follow it up is just unbelievably strong. Going into late game as well, a great way to counteract the Vayne is just simply nuking her in a one-shot, and that's pretty much what Veigar brings to the table. Again, though, Bass, please do give me a shout if that is a placeholder pick. Veigar's a legit pick. They laughed when he asked them if it was a placeholder, so we are going to have Veigar. So variety, very much the spice of life here, Spud, and I actually play quite a bit of Veigar. I love watching people play him. He's such a strong champion.
He is one of those characters that is very, very skill dependent, though. If you can't land that stun, you're worthless, basically. If you can, however, you can be a terrifying monster, because the weakness that I mentioned with Zyra is that she is quite vulnerable to being locked down and just straight up bursted. So that is not going to be fun to be playing Zyra against. However, both of those mages actually have the means, honestly, to 100-0 each other. Whichever one gets the full combo on the other one is likely to just straight up gib after level 6, because they both have so much damage built into their kits there. It's going to be interesting to see what they choose to go for. We are going to be seeing the remake, obviously, on that lobby, so they can repick that Teemo. Instead of that, they will be having Sona. Obviously, that's the placeholder system, which is fairly simple to see how it works. But we have actually got Veigar. I was surprised, actually, but obviously someone plays him well.
Yeah, absolutely. It reminds me a bit like a game of Battleship. Whoever hits first is basically going to dunk the other one. That's the kind of battle that we are going to have in the mid lane. Vayne, I think I saw using Cleanse on the summoner spells. That would make a lot of sense against the Veigar, because obviously when he drops the event horizon, she can just cleanse out of that, and she's not going to be decimated from the upcoming barrage of abilities raining down on her face. But we are going to be jumping back into this remake once again with the players saying that they're ready. There we go. So again, we are going to have some of these picks coming thick and fast. This is the placeholder system. Now, I don't know if you can remember the lineup, Spuddington, but from what you can remember, which of these two teams would you be favoring going forward? Because that first game was just so damn close.
It's hard for me to say, but I actually really like the comp from Benched. I really like the fact they have a lot of protection for that Vayne, but also some serious damage threats. I genuinely think, though, that Veigar could throw a massive wrench in that plan, because he is so scary. Depending on how well he gets off the ground, though, that is the thing. Veigar is very easy to gank into submission, and if he doesn't get that good start, he won't be able to 100-0 anyone, and if he can't 100-0 anyone, he just won't have quite as much damage, and he won't be able to do that kind of incredibly scary thing where he blows someone up, and then a couple of seconds later, he blows someone else up. So, obviously, going to be interesting to see. I just don't know, because I just don't ever see good Veigars actually playing.
That's true. Like you said, very skill dependent. If you can't land the event horizon, you may as well not bother picking it in the first place. But Spurublob, as you said before, I have no idea how to pronounce that name, so I'm probably butchering it. I apologize in advance. But if he can land some skill shots, we saw this Twisted Fate. He was very good at picking the cards at the right place at the right time. Landed a few really nice red cards as well, which is kind of underused, I feel, on Twisted Fate. In those close claustrophobic environments, he was landing good red cards, doing a lot of damage. So I do have faith that he can definitely make the Veigar work. But if you have a look on the Bench Gaming's lineup, again, the amount of peel is insane. Renekton, Lulu, you've got Zyra with her Stranglethorns and Grasping Roots, and then you've got Nautilus with his Depth Charge and all the CC he brings. But they have an incredibly strong engaged team here, Eternity. You look at Sejuani's ultimate, Zac jumps in, Crescendo, and then the Veigar Event Horizon on top of that. If they can manage to lock down these consecutively, Vayne is going to pop in a heartbeat. It's going to be very difficult to actually peel for her with all the burst damage raining down on her head. But with that being said, we are going to find out the answers to all the questions that we've just posed when we rejoin this action after the commercial break. We're going to have game number 2 between Bench Gaming and Eternity coming up right after this. We'll see you very shortly.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Game 2 of this best of 3 quarterfinals EUS Challenger Series number 5. We are getting underway very shortly. Benched versus Eternity. So, Metas, Vigar, you're a Vigar man. How's it going?
It's going well, dude. I am very, very interested to see how he performs. Superb villain Veigar is going to be awesome to watch. Oh my god, Spontex, hold the thought, because he's been caught from the grasping roots, but are they going to follow up on this? The answer is a no, but I was fearing the worst for Zach there. And he's actually started off with Doran's Shield, which is fairly interesting, Spuddington. Not something we see a great deal.
No, but Doran's Shield is a very efficient item. I mean, in terms of what it actually gives you for the amount of gold you pay, I think it's the most efficient item in the game. And that's comparing it to things like Infinity Edge, you know, all these kind of incredibly late game items. It's a really solid item. Obviously, you can't stack them. And obviously, it's purely defensive stats in the early game, which may not necessarily be as useful as you would want. And obviously, it's not very slot efficient. So you don't see it very often. But if you think you can just straight up withstand the other guy and rely on your innate sustain, which we are going to be, I suspect, seeing from Spontex, it's really solid. I actually quite like to run it on my Nasus top sometimes.
Alrighty, well, obviously Veigar is the most rare, I would say fairly confidently, rarest champion that you see played at the top level in this game. So I just want to give a bit of information to viewers that may not know a great deal about him. He has Baleful Strike, which is his Q. He's maxing that first, it would seem, which is fairly standard. And this will give him an ability power bonus every time he kills a champion or a minion from the Baleful Strike. And he'll also gain an ability power every time he kills a champion from any of his other abilities as well. So he's going to try and max this one out in mid lane and just constantly last hit with his Q. There we go, we see it again. He's already stacked up 3. So it's kind of like the Nasus Q in that respect, Sponnington, that you want to stack it as high as possible in the early game so that late you are just packing more of a punch.
Yeah, and he has very, very good AP ratios as well, but we are seeing the potential problem with playing him in that Gornagol is already looking around the side here. He does pick up Event Horizon at this stage, but Spurblov could be in trouble. There is going to be the auto attack, but flawless Event Horizon there. Event Horizon, for those of you who may not be aware, is an AoE stun. It is that big circle you saw just now. Obviously that skin is fairly interesting and looks quite large, but if you touch the edges of that circle, you will end up getting stunned. And he just put it so well there because he hit 2 people at once instantly. No one had to walk into it. It was just a really, really well placed stun. And you kind of need those kinds of skills if you want to actually play Veigar effectively, because he is otherwise completely without escape and completely without recourse if someone jumps on him.
Very true. Also important for me to note that the bonus from his Baleful Strike is doubled against champions and large minions as well. So obviously he will be getting more ability power the more he kills champions. We do have the lane switch up as we were talking. So Ezreal and Sona are going to be going up against Renekton at the bot lane, and that is going to leave Spontex at the top on his own, facing off against Vayne and Lulu. So Vayne's going to have pretty much a free farming session alongside Evander on the Ezreal. Obviously, we've talked this up before that you're going to have Zyra and Veigar in mid, but we do see Agent waiting, lurking in the shadows here, alongside Nautilus. So I'm keeping my eye at both bottom and top at the same time here. Gornagol and Agent are waiting for something to happen, trying to pounce on the AD and support duo. You do have Agent actually pulling himself back now, going back towards his jungle, but Gornagol is still laying in wait here, Spud. I feel he may be wasting his time, though.
Well, there's always that risk that the enemy jungler could actually come through this angle. We have got Gornagol flashing over the wall, now looking for this kill. He is not wasting his time here. He is actually going to put down the root and now go for the anchor. Very actually off-putting there for Ezreal, but the kill goes to YOLOzilla. And you actually saw there, Gornagol pulling the old switcheroo. He turned away as if like going towards Sona, and then suddenly like on a dime, he switched around through the anchor straight at Ezreal. Actually caught him off guard, so he didn't even get to use that arcane shift. Caught him out there, but no, obviously no real follow-up for it, but very, very scary. And YOLOzilla picking up that first kill is going to give him a big advantage in that. Then we have actually at top now got Durgen going low. We've got the gang coming in from Agent, the slow going down, but I don't think they're going to be able to pick up Nardius. So it's going to be a support for a support, kind of across the board there.
Yeah, but obviously with the first blood coming for Renekton's going to be a nice additional amount of chunk of change, and Gornagol almost could hear him and he was like, I'm going to prove Metis wrong. I'm going to flash through the wall here and try and gank around the back. So really smart ballsy play, because you have to say, if the gank didn't pay out, that was basically a wasted flash for nothing. But he made it work, got his top laner. I say that with quotation marks because of course he is playing at the bot lane at the moment, but got him first blood. And that's going to pick up a Renekton, an early Giant's Belt. That is huge early game for Renekton. He's so tanky, does a lot of damage on top of it as well.
Yeah, but in top we have Agent actually now going in for the aggression. Nardius had to flash out, so he actually going down to it, but now they are pushing it out to the tower. So Spontex will also be going back, probably able to pick up a Giant's Belt himself actually as well, if he wants to. That's going to be the interesting thing though. He did start with that Doran's shield, so he has actually spent less money on consumables. Durgen now putting the ward down. Spontex actually in a very awkward spot gets condemned, but the flash means it throws off the angle. And we have Gornagol now coming in from the side. They're going to push in this tower, and that means they're going to be able to put a lot of damage down. If not take it entirely, they are going to build up a fairly significant creep wave, and it is going to be interesting to see how much damage they do to this tower.
They should be able to pick this up with 3 players. It's on very, very low health, so this is going to be the first tower going down in the next couple of seconds. There we go. And in the meantime, Renekton's actually pushing his lane, so you have to say that the lane swap has paid out dividends here for Bench Gaming. Both top and bottom are having a fairly nice time of it. Renekton 13 CS plus the first blood plus a tower advantage now over Zac, so looking very, very good for Bench Gaming here.
Yeah, I'm curious to see though what their plan is now, because the lane could be frozen by Spontex here. He could just choose to kind of lock it down, and that would mean that the only real play that Benched could make, other than to kind of riskily farm out a very long way, is to go for that dragon. And it does look like that's being pinged down there. We have got the wards though coming out from Eternity, so they are actually going to have the ability to kind of try and keep control over that area. In a full-on 4-on-5, they will probably obviously lose because it's a 4-on-5. But if it comes to a straight-up, you know, fight, we have actually got Spurblog in the mid lane there. Not going to be getting caught. Gondor kind of anchors the wall there a bit. But yeah, in a straight-on 4-on-5, they would lose, but that isn't necessarily going to be an option. YOLO's really getting aggressive though. Anton M getting quite harassed. Is only level 4, but nothing going to come of it.
Yeah, you're speaking about the ward coverage at Drake, but Lulu actually brought herself a pink and has cleared that one out. So Renekton is going to be recalling. They're not going to attempt the Drake just yet. Zyra still in the mid, and Veigar will be picking up this blue. Having said that though, here comes Nautilus from the side, currently level 5, so he isn't actually even near 6. He can't hope to try and steal this, can he? He's gonna manage to get this steal. Beautiful play from Gornagle, just waltzing in there, picking that one up for his team, and it goes from bad to worse for Eternity. It may not seem like a big deal, but Veigar needs that blue buff so bad.
Yeah, obviously the mana regen is really good on him, but Nardius is now at bottom lane going aggressive. Vandanoob in trouble. Nardius getting a very, very aggressive damage down, but it's not going to be the kill. Does force him out of lane though, so this is now definitely a time when Benched could go for Dragon. Obviously they have all of their members in the area, and obviously that is a good sign that it's a, you know, good time, because there's just no way that the people from Eternity could get there in time to react. But it does actually look like they're not going to go for it. It does actually seem rather that they're more interested donating the buffs, making sure they get everyone farmed up, because at the moment Nardius is you know, doing pretty well. 62 farm to 69 on Ezreal, but obviously he is Vayne. He is going to scale into that kind of crazy damage status later on. And at the moment Ezreal, you know, he's looking solid, but nothing too impressive. We actually did see a gank in mid, but nothing really came of it.
Yeah, Sejuani actually popped her ultimate, so the Glacial Prison is down, forcing the flash from Zyra, so just caught the sides of it. Wasn't stunned, but was frozen and slowed. So a couple of summoner spells, and the ultimate has been popped for now. So definitely Zyra is feeling quite vulnerable, has no inane escape. Here comes Nautilus, so does land the dredge line. Will the depth charge be following up? Of course it will. Event Horizon is popped down, and that's going to mark the end of that engage from the terms of Benched Gaming. So very, very nice Event Horizon. Veigar has been very, very strong with them thus far. How is his stacks looking on his Q, his Baleful Strike? He has plus 38 ability power, so going pretty well for him thus far. And remember, Veigar getting into the late game is one of those kind of AP carries that can easily hit the 1000 AP mark. He is that kind of scary champion. Nautilus is coming down towards bot lane now, so Gornagle going to try and make something happen. He doesn't have the depth charge though, just burnt that previously in the aforementioned engage onto Veigar, but he seems happy enough to wait and try bush for now, waiting for that opportune moment to strike. But you can see that Anton and Vanda, their spidey senses are tingling, and they're like, yeah, Nautilus is probably coming down to gank, we should back away.
Yeah, you can kind of predict where people are going to put down pressure because of where it's valuable to put down pressure. There's just no point in, you know, ganking a lane that's already miles behind, it isn't worth any gold and is being destroyed by their laning opponents anyway. You're going to go where there's actually someone that you can kill and someone that it's worth killing. Obviously, in this case though, I'm a little bit concerned for the bottom lane of Bench. Obviously they are now going to be possibly exchanging wards, I think, here. Yeah, there we go. Both pinks end up getting destroyed. And Durgen getting a little bit of harass as well, but there's not much vision here for this bottom lane of Bench, so they can't really afford to get very aggressive here. Durgen has no wards available anymore, and that's gonna be pretty nasty for them. Gornagle coming around this side. He may actually be just keeping an eye out, expecting Agent to go for this gank on bottom lane, or he's just looking to go around behind. Obviously, DirtGen is now getting very aggressive, has actually had to back out because going very low, but then we have the harass coming down. Nadia's going down in the aggressive pose here. Angro damage coming down. Crescendo across two, though. Maybe keep them alive, but no. That ultimate gets flashed out. Gornagle obviously just going to be able to get one out.
Yeah, A for effort there for Evander, but unfortunately not enough to keep himself alive there. He nearly took down Dirchen now, and doing a fair amount of pain onto Gornagle as well. Renekton has came down from the top lane, picks up a Sunfire Cape, and this is going to signify a fairly free Drake, unless you're going to have some kind of incredible steal from Sejuani. She does have Flash Up, does have the Smite Up, and the Glacial Prison as well, so this is a possibility. This could be on the cards. Here comes the Glacial Prison. Can she get the steal though? Yes, she can! Trying to escape, gets pushed across the wall from Condemn, and that, ladies and gents, is how you steal a Drake. Beautiful play there, coming out from Agent.
Yeah, and that was just abusing the fact that she was one level higher, had that slightly stronger smite, and played it so well. Obviously, just did not panic, and kind of caused a lot of panic on her opponents, just because they were suddenly like, oh, wait, hang on, Sejuani's here, and we've also been stunned, and then actually able to get away. I feel like maybe the Condemn wasn't actually the best move there. Nadia's possibly saving her life, because that stun wasn't long enough to keep her there to burst them. But in the end, that's a good Drake still, and it's also given Spontex the time to put down almost the full damage on that top tower. He is going to back out, though, probably going to go back and pick up his Sunfire Cape, although YOLOzilla is smelling him here, so he's actually going to have to run for his life here. Actually, YOLOzilla is just sticking. He does still have his stun available, but he's saving it, I suspect. No, he doesn't have it available. He's getting aggressive. He's going to be trying to follow this up, but Spontex just jumps on out. However, that has given YOLOzilla time to push out this lane, so he will be able to reach the tower a little bit more, for a little bit more damage there. So that's a good move on his part, but it's probably not going to count to too much in the long run.
As you said, really nice play from Sejuani, not just the Drake steal, but with Renekton committing to getting Drake, coming down from the top lane, it allowed Zac to push very aggressive. They're actually in a 1v1 here. Spontex going very, very low. Does have his passive up, however, so if he died underneath the tower, would probably have been okay. The Dominus isn't quite up from Renekton. He popped it trying to make sure they got the Drake as well. So Vayne's going to go very aggressive. Vayne is looking pretty decent at the moment. 112 CS to 110 on Ezreal, looking to build up that Blade of the Ruined King, as we've seen time and time again, that first pick for the Vayne. On the flip side, we are going to have the blue build Ezreal, surprise, surprise, and not a great deal of shock there. Renekton is looking pretty strong. YOLOzilla has another 800 gold to his name, but we do have a gank coming in towards mid here. Dredgeline narrowly missing, and had it even landed, the Event Horizon more than likely would have saved Veigar's life. So he is going to pull himself back. Blue is up once again. Last time around it was stolen, but this time Gornagle doesn't seem too interested. So it is going to go to Veigar. He's finally going to get some of that mana regen.
Yeah, he didn't have that ward available, and you have now got the Chalice picked up on Veigar, so he's just going to continue farming up 61 ability power extra. That's a free, what? Wow, that's actually a free Blasting Wand and Amplifying Tome already, just in terms of gold items he's gaining there. So he is getting scary now. He's starting to really build up a lot of AP for free, and when he starts building his AP into actual items, that's going to be scary. Now we have Spontex actually trading here with YOLOzilla, and we have Agent coming in from the side, but we will also have Nautilus in a second. He has got the Let's Bounce down. They are putting down the damage. Glacial Prison comes down. He's actually going to get his take there. Just get taken out as a result, and Gornagle not there on time.
Agent is having a really strong game this time around, 2-0. The Drake steal as well, putting a lot of damage down on towards their enemies, and do manage to pick up the top tower. So looking very, very good from Sejuani's viewpoint. They are 1k gold ahead, but this mid tower will be falling very shortly. That's going to even things up nicely. And Veigar has actually finished off his Athene's Unholy Grail, narrowly missing the Event Horizon. You do have the True Shot Barrage also burnt from Vander at the bot lane. Managed to clip onto Dirtgen, but not really doing a great deal of damage. However, it's going to push the recall. How much gold does Ezreal have? 1,750 or thereabouts. Now chasing on towards Zyra, who's forced to flash through the wall on Drake. So another summoner has been burnt there. Nice work from Agent and also Veigar, but not managing to secure the kill. This is a lot slower pace than the first game we saw. By this point, Spuddington, last time, we'd already had that quadra kill on Vayne. This time just 4 kills overall, but it's been a very close, tense affair.
I think Bimbo has been spotted here, and this is now so dangerous for him. Maybe not actually, though. He is actually possibly going to look for this kill. He actually whiffs the... Oh, the root whiffs, and now he's used Strangleforms. He's used Grasping Roots. He's going to try and put some damage down on Vanderoob. He might be able to pick up this kill with his passive afterwards, but I don't think that's going to happen. Vanderoob just going to be getting on out, and yeah, just a very, very aggressive play by Bimbo. I mean, he is just psychotically aggressive. He is everywhere and nowhere. But Spurblob actually now in trouble in mid. He's going to be okay. We have got the cleanse by Nard. It's quite late, though, so not going to be able to pursue Vigar anymore. But, as I say, yeah, stupendously aggressive Bimbo 8 there, putting down so much damage. And actually now in top lane, we have YoloZilla in potentially a very awkward spot. Spurblob also in a very awkward spot. Did miss his event horizon now, so he's in trouble. Not going to be able to go down immediately, but Gornagle has been stunned. Spurblob might be able to get out of this. He is going to get auto-attacked. And Solari goes down. We've got the stun going down. We've got the depth. That's not depth charge. The Dark Matter going down, and that is actually enough to pick it up. And in bot lane, something happened, but I wasn't there watching.
Vayne got a kill on Ezreal, so global action happening here. 1 for 2 exchange globally, but what a brilliant play from Eternity to pick up the kill on both Renekton and Nautilus as well. Really nice event horizon at the end there. Veigar saving his life, and also important to mention that the Locket of the Iron Solari was popped from Sejuani, while the red buff Nautilus auto-attacked Veigar, so definitely saved his life. Awesome play overall. Sejuani is having a blinder thus far. They're going to be trying to take down the bot tower here, Vayne, and also Lulu, but Sejuani is stood there firm and proud. 557 HP remaining on the bot tower, and they are going to be waiting for this additional creep wave to be hitting. Drake should be due up very, very shortly. I didn't quite catch the time, but, well, there you go. As I mentioned, it's back up again. So that could be the next point of contention here between the two teams, and I feel there could be a big team fight kicking off soon. Like, still though, Veigar, as you said before, because of his passive, he doesn't need to build all kinds of AP damage at the start. That's going to come later on. Whereas if you look at Zyra's build, it's the complete opposite. Rabadon's death cap instantly picked up.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, Bimbo 8 plays this incredibly aggressive style. Still no boots, you might want to note. He's building a Void Staff on top of that. He builds 100% damage, nothing else, all damage all the time, and it's an incredibly scary thing to go against, but it means his positioning has to be flawless, and it also means if he gets caught out by Vigar, he's just going to get deleted. And Nadia is actually getting the full combo from Vigar. Actually stays alive, though. We have got the Lulu ultimate. Asian is now getting into the middle of the fray, and Spurblob is going to have to run away, trying to take out Dirtjet on the side there. Bimbo 8 does put down the damage. We've got Zac on a low health in this blob form, but he is going to get taken out. Bimbo 8 picks up Spontex as a result, and that's actually a 2-for-0 in the favor of benched at the moment. We had got a very, very low Nardis and a very, very low Dirtjet and a very, very low Bimbo 8. But still, fairly well played overall.
And Nautilus is going to be chasing down Veigar, but nice event horizon again is going to save his life. And the thing about Veigar is that he wants to focus the AP carry. His ultimate, the Premadoral Burst, is going to do damage plus 80% of his target's ability power and magic damage. So, of course, if he's going against Zyra with the Rabadon's Death Cap, Blasting Wand, and Amplifying Tome, he is going to completely smash her face in with the Premadoral Burst. It's going to be colossal damage. But he went for Vayne there. A Vayne who had Cleanse, who had a Wild Growth right next to her, wasn't able to pop through that, and well, the rest is history. Didn't go too well for the side of Eternity. So I would expect to see Veigar, as this game progresses on, trying to...
Did you just go silent? Metas has just gone silent for no readily apparent
enough
reason.
damage to take Vayne down. Sorry, boss?
You went silent for some reason, so I hope you're still functional. I can hear you now, but
hello?
A little bit odd.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Technical issues aside.
So, nice. So my mic just went off halfway through a sentence. Beautiful.
Whether it was your mic or your internet, I wouldn't know, but regardless, the game is still going on now. We are getting underway fairly shortly. We have got the full Rabadon's full Void Staff and Boots picked up by Bimbo 8 now. One of the things you were mentioning, though, is that Vigar is going to want to try and focus out Zyra. And yes, he will, if he can. We've actually, got Spontex getting aggressive on Gornagle, who is going to be anchor tossing out. Like I say, Vigar is going to want to focus out Zyra if he can, but the thing about Zyra is that she punishes people who try to get aggressive on her, and she has long range to do it with. If Vigar is, running up with Gay Abandon, just tries to land that stun, he's just going to take Grasping Roots, he's going to take her full combo and probably get 100-0'd himself, because I think Zyra is going to have longer range on the full combo than Spurblob there. So it's something a little bit scary for him to have to deal with. But obviously, if he can get to that point where he can burst out Nardius, which is very, very possible, that's going to be scary too.
Yeah, very true. Just give me a shout when Mike goes again, because it could very well be the USB. I've been having some strange issues. Either way, we do have the Event Horizon landing on the mid there, on towards Yellowzilla. Not really anything following up. The Dog Matter did land, but just not enough damage to stave off the attack there. So the mid tower will be falling 4-1 on towers in favor of Bench Gaming. So they are really taking the global advantage in this matchup so far. That is going to give them more presence on Drake when it's up. It's going to give them more presence on Baron as well, because that mid tower is still up and on full HP spot. Hasn't been touched just yet.
Yeah, but the gold is actually still very, very close. So Eternity having that kind of, yes, they've been pushed back, but the fact that they have been pushed back is going to give them some slight issues with map control, but it's also going to mean that when they take an advantage, if they take a team fight convincingly, then they're going to have some real fun. They're going to be able to take a lot of towers very quickly, and that could build up a gold advantage. We have actually got the Dark Matter Event Horizon and the full Baleful Strike combo going down on Gorgle. No ult though, so obviously that's going to do less damage, and that's really not the target that Spurblob is going to want to blow up if he can. If he gets to the point where he can 100-0 a Nautilus, who is building many Null Magic Mantles, then you're going to be in the pain zone, because that is just terrifying.
Then he's going to be able to 1-0 anybody he chooses. So, yes, I wouldn't expect to see that happening anytime soon, but he is one of the kind of AP carries that could potentially make that a real possibility as we push forward in the game. Has gone for Twin Shadows as well, which is quite an interesting pickup. We do have Zac actually engaging on towards Gornagle. Event Horizon goes down slightly too late, though. Nautilus is going to be falling. In the meantime, he does get that combo. Boom, go down to Zyra. She will be falling instantly from the Premadoral Burst, and that's exactly what Veigar is designed to do. Neutralize the AP carry. He's then got the Event Horizon and the combo on towards Lulu. Crescendo comes out from Sona, and they're going to be trying to jump on towards Nardius, who's still on full HP, but he can't hope to take down 4-5 players make that are chasing him right behind. Nardius is going to be falling to Zac, and Renekton is the last surviving member of the Benched Gaming's team, and it's just looking quite precarious for them. That team fight went perfect. Veigar got his mark. He got the Zyra 100-0'd in a heartbeat.
Did she even get her? She did actually get her ultimate off. But yeah, that's why Veigar is scary. If he gets to that phase, then he can start to really be terrifying. And he's actually built a very defensive build this game. He's gone for that Athene's, gone for that Twin Shadows. As you mentioned, that's going to give him more kiting, that's going to give him more safety. But he's soon going to be starting to think about, I could pick up a Rabadon's Death Cap. And obviously that is going to amplify the AP he gets from his passive. There we go, Needlessly Large Rod. So first component there. And that is going to start to reach, if he finishes that Rabadon, it's going to give him, what, 500 AP? That's going to be starting to overtake Bimbo 8 there, because he's only got 302 at the moment. And that is just going to start getting very, very scary very, very quickly. It should be noted, by the way, Primordial Burst, which is Veigar's ultimate, has a 1.2 AP ratio. I think it might be the highest AP ratio in the game. And actually now we've got Gornagle coming in. He has actually not landed the Ankatos. Durgen putting down, well, not quite actually going to be going down to that. He doesn't have any AP, so we have now got the flash from Anton M. Actually not going to be able to put down the Crescendo. Actually just gets given. He's now got the depth charge on Spurblob, who doesn't go down to it, but he is going to be keeping himself alive with that. Event Horizon Vandernood now putting down the damage. Spontex is going to go down. He's now got Yellowzilla in the middle of the fight. He is going very low. Nardi is putting down some damage, but I don't think it's going to be enough. We actually got the stun coming down. Spurblob is going to be trying to land a Dark Matter. Does manage to do it. He's now actually in there too. And Spurblob getting another kill there on that Q, getting even more farm on it.
And that's going to be a Drake as well, Spud. You seem to cut out for me. I'm not sure if that's me or you, so I apologize if I'm lagging, guys. it was fine for you, so maybe it is just on my end then with some lag. So I'll try and fix that after this game, regardless of what happens. So apologies for that, but I'm just gonna crack on regardless. Veigar 3-0-6 has another 900 gold. He just picked up a needlessly large rod, so could go back and get himself a blasting wand. Potentially Zhonya's Hourglass is also a good pickup for him, especially against characters like the Depth Charge from Nautilus, the Strangle Thorns, and all the burst damage from the Zyra as well. So he's kind of got a choice of 2 or 3 items that he could go for next, and I'm quite interested to see which one he goes for. He's going to be picking up the blue buff here regardless, and it's been a very close game again, and it's strange to say that when it's 13-7 and there's a 5k goal difference, but I feel these team fights have just been going backwards and forwards. One team crushes the team fight one time, and then suddenly it's just flipped on its head for the next team fight. It just, you know, vice versa all the way through, like game number 1.
I've got to say though, I do feel like the last 2 fights maybe went to eternity, and it's actually quite in large part due to Spurblob. That name is just gonna but yeah, he's been doing a really sterling job just putting down all of the damage, and in fact he's actually been hugely significant on the CC front too, because he's been surviving long enough to get maybe 3-4 event horizons off in a full fight, and that can stun 2 or 3 people, and it's maxed now, so it's stunning for 2.5 seconds. He's putting out a lot of CC in addition to nearly actually in that last fight 100-0ing Dirt Gen, and he should be able to probably do that properly now. So he, yeah, super scary, putting down so much damage, and Nardius might not survive now if he gets bursted. Bimbo definitely won't survive if he gets bursted, and it's just gonna be, can they focus him out before he can do that? Can they prevent him from backing out like he did last time, only to come back in and then do even more damage in return?
So interestingly, they've actually landed the event horizon. They're going to be engaging here. Beautiful Strangle Thorns plus the Grasping Roots though lands on 4 players. Crescendo does land as well though. Depth Charge on towards Zach. He's going to fall instantly. Event horizon has been used once again, but flashing up red is Veigar, and they're going to be pulling themselves back. So it looked as though they'd really landed their mark with the event horizon on Nardius's face, but then instantly the combo from Zyra was just pixel perfect. Spud completely neutralized that push.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Zyra. She puts out so much damage in an AoE like that, and she also has a lot of crowd control. Vandernoob actually putting down some damage on her though, and it does look like this Baron could be a very risky play here. They are going to be looking to counter-engage. This benched are going in. We have actually now got the damage down. Vandernoob though is not going to be getting damaged, and actually that could go very wrong. Nardi's actually there aggroing Baron again. Actually can take another 2 shots from Baron for his troubles. Vandernoob chasing this down, has used the Arcane Shift, has no mana left. Spurblob is now looking for this stun, and Dirt Gen gets stunned, gets nuked, and now it's actually very much Eternity's ball again.
Yeah, extremely strong, clinical cleanup there around Baron, and you do have Vayne alongside Zyra is just lurking in the shadows, but this Baron is going down. So can they manage to make something big happen? Their jungler does have, he does have Smite up, but he's been caught out here from Veigar being forced to flash away. So his Smite is not going to be able to be used anytime shortly. He doesn't have his flash, so he has no chance of stealing this one out. And Veigar, of all players, will actually be picking that one up. Here comes Zach from the side, though, jumping onto Bimbo, knocking back with the Let's Bounce. She's going to fall down instantly. Vayne also was taken down in the process. And this is looking like it's very much in Eternity's face to lose, because I have to feel, Spud, that unless they make a huge throw, this game is pretty much theirs.
Yeah, at this point, it's becoming very apparent what role Spurblob is playing in this comp. He is now actually proving to be both an engage when he can. That's not the main role he's doing, though. He is the disengage. Whenever a fight isn't going well, they just put down the event horizon, and that just blows up Dirt Gen there.
Wow.
To nobody's surprise there, Dirt Gen is no longer able to withstand that damage. And yeah, like I say, he is actually now the disengage for his team. If they, commit to a fight, if Agent goes in, if Spontex goes in, and they're like, oh wait, actually this is a bad idea, they just event horizon, everyone back out, 2.5 seconds done, kind of bisects the lane almost, and he's just so good at that. And obviously, if they keep chasing up, then they're having to deal with the Ezreal damage that's coming out, as well as the stun, Dark Matter combo, so it's just scary for them. And at the moment, like you say, bench having a lot of trouble. Even when they got that fight, you saw where Bimbo8 landed the perfect combo. He landed all that damage across the entire team, locked them all down. They were still able to disengage using that Vigar. And that's just really, really scary.
Uh-oh, speaking of scary, he's finished off a Rabadon's death cap. So let's have a look at the ability power. He is dead on 600. So that's a seriously scary territory 31 minutes through the game, and he hasn't even been building full ability power. He has a Giant Spell and a Ruby Crystal as well, so I'm interested to see what he builds that into. Meanwhile, Sejuani is going to be trying to steal out this blue, going to be giving this one across to Veigar, although having said that, they do have a ward down, able to spot that Renekton, Nautilus et al. Were coming down. They have managed to steal away the blue buff there, right at the death. I believe it was Agent that actually picked it up at the end. Now going to be engaging on towards YOLO Zilla. Needs to be very careful. Event Horizon comes down, but using the slash and basically the slice and dice, I should say, to get away out of dodge there. But that's going to leave this tower fairly vulnerable. Zac is charging up his slingshot. Will he be jumping in here? He thought about it for a few seconds, decided not to, and they're going to pull themselves back. But with the Baron Spuddington, you feel it's only a matter of time before they do take this tower and potentially engage.
Yeah, Spontex is charging again, and he's actually going to be going for it. Event Horizon on 3, Durgen gets destroyed. The Stranglethorns comes down, though. That counter engage could be good. Nardius is actually going to be putting down some damage on Spontex, who's going to be trying to get out of that. Has actually got a Zhonya's Hourglass, and now Nardius is going to be in a bit of trouble trying to put down some damage, but the burst is just too sudden, too much damage. Block, triple kill, destroys Zyra in an instant, and that is the GG well played call. So well played there. Eternity take that game.
Well, I'm kind of speechless at seeing the ultimate land on Zyra and like 60% of her health just disappear. Just off that one ability. It's insane, and that's why Veigar's picked up. In a nutshell, that's what he brings to the table. He brings the CC, he brings the Event Horizon, and then if you're against an AP character that is building solid AP, I mean, look at Zyra's items. Haunting Guise, Void Staff, Rabadon's Death Cap, the 80% addition to Veigar's ultimate was just completely chunking her down. And in those final fights, you know, you said, and very correctly so as well, that Zyra is good at keeping kind of an arm's length from her assailants, but towards the end of that, Zac was jumping in, disrupting the backlines, and that basically allowed Veigar to land a free Event Horizon. He didn't have to worry anymore. He's like, okay, I'm going to plant this here, and then I'm going to completely crush your face, and there's nothing you can do about it. So the team comp from Eternity in that game was just awesome.
Yeah, and so much of it was dependent on Spurblob being an incredibly strong Vigar. I mean, those Event Horizons were just sublime. So crazy. But anyway,